Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Here we are.
Oh my God, it's such a long day.
It's a long day, and then I don't even know when this is going to air. We're banking episodes.
We got to bank episodes, you guys. But I dropped off Andy's aunt at the airport at 4:30 p.m.
At LAX?
Yeah. One of the dumbest things that's ever occurred.
I would have gotten a divorce. That's just ridiculous.
I was talking about putting her in a lift. Mm-hmm. Except for that we spent the day together, me driving her around to look at things.
What things?
Well, I took her to the church that Bob Hope's Infidelity built. You know that one?
No.
It's over on Lancashire in Moore Park.
Really? It's a Catholic church?
Yeah, because he was Church of England and she was Catholic. So every time he had an affair, he supposedly had to donate to that church. That is the largest church in the world.
Wow.
It has an auditorium. It has a family center. It also has another auditorium. It has a basketball court.
That was their arrangement?
Supposedly. And right across the street from his, where his sort of compoundy house is in Toluca Lake?
Well, I don't know it, but I know it's there.
It's on Moore Park. It has a 3-hole golf course in it.
Yeah. And
across the street from it forever was an empty lot. And then he died. And then she because I guess she had always threatened to build a nunnery there.
Oh my God, she fucking hated her life. I
don't even understand
what
why.
a horrible life.
Could you imagine being married to Bob fucking Hope?
No, and
I would cut myself into tiny pieces.
Well, and plus it's one of those things where and my wife Dorothy, and he honors her in public and all that stuff, and then he just treats her like shit in private.
Yeah, and she just has,
gross.
And then they have to just snipe at each other, and so then I took her there. I showed her the water tower at Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. I used to love the water tower at Warner Brothers.
That's
when
fine.
It was painted the Animaniacs color.
What color's that?
It's many cartoony colors, and now it's freaking beige.
Yeah,
dumb.
Well, maybe they wanted to blend in with the studio and blend in with a mountain behind it,
right? Where that mountain where the helicopters came over for the TV show MASH.
Oh, was that mountain? Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that one little tree on the top of the mountain. I mean, it must be gigantic in person.
The one that looks like a perfect tree?
Yeah, it sticks up.
It's weird. It sticks up. It's a silhouette.
I think you can climb to that thing. I mean, I don't know that I ever will, but I bet it's doable.
It's probably doable. So we both did the Virgil. Did not see you there.
No, you were there early.
I got there so early because I left at 4:30 LAX. Got there at 7. Got really good parking.
You know what I did? I parked in a red zone. No ticket.
Oh, did you do it?
Yeah.
Nice work.
I'm brazen now. I don't give a shit.
You don't give. Nope. It's over. The shit giving is done.
So you went up early?
Yeah, I went up first. And it was great. I'm working on, for the millionth day and a half.
Right.
I'm still working on this flirting bit. And it's, I've got a great, it's coming together. It's got like so many moving parts, and to work on all the parts at once is very difficult.
Yes.
So I am pleased to say that 3 of the parts are working in a row.
That's great.
Yeah, and there's another.
You start to get some momentum.
Yes. And everybody who saw that set, 5 days ago, was crazy. And that was, there were 2 comics there who just saw me. One saw me do late breakfast. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm just going to work on that same bit again. And she said, oh, that was a real bit? And I was like, yeah, the show that doesn't let you do stand-up, I did stand-up. But I had the best sort of balloon. Like my task, remember, was just, I had seasonal affective disorder or whatever. And so I just had to either be animated or slow.
Mm-hmm. So you had to be
helped.
like the water tower or slow.
Animated? Yes. Ooh, it's an animation joke.
No, it's a joke involving words that have several of the same common nouns, but actually doesn't make any sense.
You know what? I'm so punchy that it made
I'm
me...
punchy too.
I'm in.
That's why
wouldn't
it worked as it was coming out of my mouth, and then I'm like, wait, no, it doesn't.
Oh my God.
So I was listening to this Fresh Air, and she was interviewing Terry Crews is interviewing Adam Cohen. He's the son of Leonard Cohen. Anyway, he just put he put a book together of a lot of his dad's stuff. He said his dad worked on Hallelujah, the song Hallelujah.
Yeah.
For 12 years before it was done. And he said there's 84 different versions of it before he settled on the one that he liked.
And without his permission, he's going to release every 84 of them. Oh, no? He's not going to do it?
No, he just pointed out that that's how long it took.
Oh, good.
And so if it takes a while to write a joke, you're in good company.
I'm in good company. Leonard Cohen. Guy's a genius.
Yeah.
And I like his scratchy voice better than Dylan's.
Well,
that's right. I said it. All right, get an applause break over there from Kyle.
I can't stand Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan's hard.
I
don't mind when
even,
other people sing Bob Dylan.
I can't pay attention to the lyrics everyone say are genius because I can't fucking stand his voice.
Right, so if someone else sings it, I can, first of all, understand what someone is saying. My brother Phil, big fan of Bob Dylan. You know, he's from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And who cares?
Bob Dylan is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are from Wisconsin.
I don't, but Phil's been there so long.
Okay.
Who cares?
So, the Virgil tonight, I went up around 9:15 or so.
Okay.
And,
did you get to see Deborah DiGiovanni?
She went right up after me.
Power. Yeah.
And I saw a few minutes, and then I left to come
bolt.
here and deal with my child. And fucking 6th grade is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard, let me tell you.
He's having a row, man.
Yeah. But the Virgil was good. So 2 nights ago I was at Flappers, and I guess I had tweeted the wrong date for a show I was doing. So Flappers is like, well, you're not on that show, but since you want to do it, since you tweeted it, I'm like, yeah, sure. So, and then
our lives are blessed, quite honestly, comedically.
I know.
Other comics don't get to. It's awesome.
But
thank you.
I built up this bit that I'm working on. I put a little more head on it, and it seems to it's starting to feel like a real
that's great.
Longer story and not just a one-off, right? Not that I like telling stories, but I just want it. You
don't have to justify the storytelling to me. I know.
Look, I'm not going to be on the Moth.
You know that they ring that bell on the Moth.
What's
I
the
want
bell?
to jam that bell up their butts.
What bell?
There's a bell at like 7 minutes. They're like, you're losing points. Ding.
Oh my God.
The one time I did the Moth, I think it was Moshe Kasher. He was like, I'm running the ding. I'm running the bell. I fucked the bell. And it was awesome. He did like 12 minutes. He was only supposed to do 7. But it wasn't
Normally
our fault.
I would be annoyed by that, but if it annoys people that run the Moth, go
I was
for it.
actually on board.
So Flappers,
Annoy the Moth.
Flappers was really fun, and I forgot my cell phone, so I got a copy of the
from them
recording. Yeah, because I think I had a couple new sort of not tags really, but like potential angles, potential roads to go down. Mm-hmm. And then last night I was at the Improv. It was a 10:15 show.
Yep.
And
main room, lab.
Main room.
Okay.
And this Kavanaugh thing is still really distressing me. I'm in a funk.
Oh my God.
And I had another gigantic fight with my mom. Basically, she's not changed one iota from this entire experience. No matter how much I reveal to her and tell her how much it hurts me and say how much it reminds me of my own situation, she is a boulder that's not moving.
Right.
And I either just get mad at her every day or I just go, okay, that's what she is. And just accept it, which is probably what I should do, but I don't want to. I want her to fucking crack a little bit.
Yeah. It'd be great. I was talking to my Andy's aunt yesterday. We were driving back down, and she's she's a big hippie skippy, big crystal clutcher like myself. But she lives in rural Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And, oh my God, at one point today, she tried to tell me to read Eckhart Tolle or whatever. And I was like, no.
People love him.
I know. She was like, do you know? And I said, yes. I don't know if you know this, but I live in Los Angeles. and second of all, I got my, I was macrobiotic in 93. So shut up. I didn't say that.
Right.
But, we were talking about, politics briefly. Mm-hmm. And I said that the thing that makes me the saddest are the kids, the migrant kids. And she said, what about them? And I was like, what do you mean? The immigrant kids that they separated at the border. And she's like, what happened?
What?
And I was like, how can you not know that there are kids in cages and now in tents and no one's ever seen the girls? I've never seen an article where they showed any of the girls.
Wow.
So it's fucking, and so today we spent the day together, and at one point she goes, so I looked up the thing about the kids. It's all over the place. I don't know how I missed it. And I was like, yes. And
she doesn't watch MSNBC or anything like that?
She doesn't watch any television news,
God,
which I don't either.
What a blessed life.
I don't either. I only read it.
Yeah.
Which is why my personal Facebook page is a disaster of political tirade. Yes, it is. And she mentioned it. She said, professionally that's not good. And I said, it's not my professional page. And so if people don't like my personal page, they can fuck themselves. And they don't have.
Is your personal page private, or can anyone see it?
It's mostly I post some things publicly and some things privately, and I accepted all friend requests for so long that I'm maxed out.
I did the same thing.
Right, big mistake. But the thing is so every month 3 people blow. They bail, and every 3 months I also post a thing that says, my professional page doesn't have anything political on it unless it's funny. So why don't you all go there and knock yourselves out? And so I don't feel bad,
right,
at all. But and whatever. But she heard it, which is something I can't believe your mom. She doesn't seem like a dumb person, your mother.
You see those headphones? That's how she walks around the earth, is with headphones on.
Ugh.
Fact-blocking headphones.
Just fact. Yes.
Fact-canceling headphones.
Right. Enlightenment
it's a new Bose.
Yeah. She would like...
kind of headphone.
It's actually just the sound of the ocean. It's just like it puts her to sleep.
So I just did not sleep at all on Monday night. And the climate thing,
Oh, the new reveal on the climate?
It's so fucking distressing. Like,
right.
I'm just like, what are we doing here? Why are we making a podcast?
Right.
What are we doing? What are any of us doing right now?
Well, these are let us TikTok the final days of the planet Earth.
It's horrifying.
With a digital footprint.
And to just dump that on these kids right now.
Right.
It's fucking awful. So anyway, so I had no sleep on Tuesday. I felt awful all day long. Oh. Then I had this late show, and the crowd was dead. It was half full, which is really good for a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But they were not giving it up. And I did. Usually it's like, all right, I will bring the energy that you lack. But I didn't have it.
You didn't actually have any energy.
No. I'm like, can I get a fucking hand? Every once in a while when I'm on stage, I got to do all the work all the time.
Yep.
Can you people help me out tonight?
Right. Rise to the occasion.
And they didn't. And then I just sort of, I tried a couple things that I'm working on, and because they're not like set in my head, I when I don't have any energy, I'm trying to remember them versus, some stuff that, is pretty consistent. And I just was on autopilot doing it just so I would have a good set.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to end on applause.
Exactly. And it's just I sympathize. It's sometimes the set, like tonight I was working on that flirting bit, and it was at one point, there's a new line in it where I can find an asshole and I'm sort of just looking for the right words while I'm up there, because that's how I write. And I said something about harassing old women, and there was a fucking haircut in the front row who cackled, and it made me want to leap off the stage and hurt him. But I was like, no, he's a baby bird. We are going to fucking teach this kid that it isn't not cool.
So but was he doing that thing where he's laughing for the wrong reason at a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I don't approve. But you know what it's a sign
I take any
of?
laugh. I don't care. Well, I'm not like you. I take them all.
It's a sign that the joke isn't right. If he's laughing at the wrong spot,
right.
It means that I must fix the joke, because the joke is not doing its part.
I got an email from my agent.
Yes.
And I did this Fox industry showcase 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah,
to introduce me to the industry.
Right.
Guess what? The industry said hello back. I have an audition tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, those are sides in your grubby little hand.
They're fucking huge. There's tons of lines on this thing.
It looks like 10 pages of sides.
Yeah, and usually when it's
That's
a comic
big.
part, you just have two little fucking thing.
Yeah.
You're like the
it's an under 5.
the accent to the meal. You're not the full meal. You're the appetizer, and there's lots of lines.
What time is the audition?
3:45.
Thank God.
Yeah, because we're transitioning over to half hour.
Yeah.
We have kind of a light work schedule this week, so I should be able to make it without calling it a favor.
Right.
But when I posted to our little group, I'm like, do I have to bring in a headshot? I haven't been on an audition in a long time. I'm like, we used to have to staple your resume to the back and bring your headshot in.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no. But then Emily's like, yeah, but you should be off book maybe. And I was like, no problem. Then I printed it. What the fuck?
I just looked at it, and that's all I could think was Emily saying that you should be off book.
Yes,
and I was
it's huge.
10 pages. 10 pages of off book is a.
It's not happening. I can fake it a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, whatever.
I'll be comfortable, but I will be holding it.
Right. Well, yeah, you should hold it. Anyway, it's just nuts.
I know. I have all my old acting tapes from New York.
Of course you do. Are they on VHS?
Yeah, I've converted them.
Have they been? Oh, they've also been converted?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping everything.
Okay.
I don't know why. Everything's going to end. Why am I preserving myself in YouTube amber? Everything's going to end.
Well, everything's going to end anyway. There's no,
God damn.
There'll be things left over. Don't worry.
We're going to be alive probably. We'll be really elderly, so it'll even be worse. It'll be so fucking hot. We'll be elderly in.
Will we have hot flashes without having hot flashes?
No, we'll be post hot flashes,
but they'll still have hot flashes.
No, we have hot flashes now, and when they're over, the world will be a hot flash. So for you and I, the rest of our lives, there's no escaping
the hot flash.
Yes.
All right. Well, something to look forward to.
Will there be stand-up comedy?
Always. I'm hoping.
You know how many refugees are going to be coming, because America is luckily situated. It's going to be hurricanes and drought, but it's not going to be as bad as it will be, near the equator. Oh my God, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been thinking ahead to the end of the apocalypse. We're just one foot in front of the other at this point, and trying to, trying to be, the job as a stand-up comedy is to some extent is to find the funny in the nightmare. And for me, this is, I think, to educate, these are the things after funny. So first point and purpose of stand-up comedy, to yucks.
Get a laugh.
So after that, there is to cheer everybody the fuck up, to educate, to enlighten, to that's where it sort of becomes more artistic, Mm-hmm. It depends what you aspire to with stand-up, but if it can do any one of those things besides get the yucks,
I like sneaking point of views in, but I don't like leading with a point of view.
No, leading with a point of view, first of all, is an irritant to almost everyone. And I believe, and I, like, previous to our current situation, I have never led with a point of view.
Yeah.
It's always anything that was even vaguely sociopolitical came essentially through a lesson through my father. Like, essentially it came through a side door.
Yeah.
It was a bigger deal. But I was thinking about doing a bit. I will never do this bit, but I want to do, because there's the tropes that people think about women. Like, remember that in the 80s and 90s there were all these jokes about why do women use so much toilet paper?
Right.
It was another fascinating.
Yeah.
And
well, first of all, we menstruate. Yeah, well, guess what? That uses a lot of toilet paper.
How about this? Your balls are covered in urine. How much toilet paper you got to grab?
You should be using toilet paper.
Probably a pretty good handful.
How come you're not using enough toilet paper, men?
Right. That's why do women go to the bathroom together in pairs? So they don't get murdered. That's why.
That's right.
And so then I had one other that was weird. Oh, right. I couldn't think of one for this. Remember there was like it's always been a certain type of guy, and I never knew if he was trying to get laid.
Right.
Or if he was genuinely didn't get it. Because there was the premise was women are so much more powerful than men.
Trying to get laid.
Trying to get laid?
Yes.
Always trying to get laid? Okay.
Yeah. That the women hold all of our power in our sexuality, and even though we don't make the money and we don't have hardly anyone in Congress,
and
or
we
in the White
just
House,
learned how to read about 100 years ago.
We're secretly powerful, even though we have. It looks like we have no power.
Right.
If you look at the news in the judiciary, it looks like we have no power. Our power is a secret, Jackie, even to ourselves.
It's almost every single angle we look.
No, that's a guy trying to get laid, for sure.
Okay, fair enough.
And probably succeeding. I saw this thing, some little news segment where they'd gone to UC Irvine.
Okay.
Now, granted, it's UC Irvine. It's in the middle of Orange County. These are privileged
Whitey
children.
Magoos. Yeah, the worst.
It was a lot of Asian kids, too.
Oh, yeah?
Are you going to vote? That's the question. And almost nobody raised their hand.
Wow.
Yeah. But, when I was 18, I don't remember voting or feeling like I got to vote, even though Reagan was president and I should, that should have been the top on my mind. And we were in the middle of the Cold War and potentially nukes with, with the USSR. Like, I don't know. I think maybe when you're 18, you just can't, a lot of 18-year-olds just can't get into it, no matter how much you rock the vote commercials or how,
No, you need somebody, you need your parents to make you vote. You need your parents and your siblings and your family to say voting is important. It's not enough that the school says it. It's not enough that the television says it.
Yeah.
Unless you have another agenda, right? Like if you just lived through a school shooting, for example.
Right.
Or something happened in your life that affected it. I was told from a very early age that I would be voting. And I was told,
really,
in no uncertain terms, that there would be a lot of voting, that there would be a lot of. I stuffed envelopes for John Anderson in 1980.
Wow.
Yeah, and because Darlication put me to work. There are some very funny videos of her children stuffing envelopes now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Darla will have some. She's like, "Oh, you're not doing anything? Why don't you stuff some envelopes?"
What did she stuff? Who are the envelopes
Mailings.
to?
In 1980, it was snail mail.
Yeah,
and now I think it was fundraising that she had the kids doing.
Okay,
but
that's great.
Yeah, but everybody in my three of them were student council presidents, so they've always been vaguely
very civic. Yes,
yeah, or
civic
bossy.
Minded.
I mean, whatever. Just interested in controlling Cation tentacles out. And but Darla told me a great story about my brother Scott loved he kind of got in fights a lot.
Yeah.
So when she was about 14, she went to a kegger. And there was a guy working the kegger trying to get all the girls drunk. And he was constantly bringing girls beers like dirtbags do.
Yeah.
And going, "Had you chug, chug, chug." And I guess my brother Scott went up to him and was like, "Leave the girls alone. Get out." Which is nice.
That's great.
It's good to know. And I know that my brother Scott was always willing to get in a fight. And I believe it was because he has epilepsy and he always had phenobarb. So he knew
What's that?
it's an opiate. It was like, he's got painkillers. It's going to be fine. And if he gets in a fight, he'll beat himself up with his own seizures.
Right.
Much less some other guy. But he was always a really good sort of, get in the way of bad behavior kind of big brother kind of guy. And but I think he liked it. I think he liked fighting. So, and he was kind of bigger than everybody else in our family. He was kind of the big kid. So it's a great story. That's all I got.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
I know you're sad. I'm so sorry.
My kid is sad. The fucking world is ending.
It's sad. It's time to be sad.
I don't know what to do with all this unearthed pain.
Yeah.
Not just me. I mean, so many women. We're just like, we just fucking cut our insides. We cut our stomachs open and showed you inside, and it didn't really make a difference.
And many people, almost no one cared. But some people cared, and we're going to care about each other. So, I was surprised at how much it hurt, quite honestly.
I know.
That he was confirmed.
Like, as soon as NPR mentions his name, I turn it off. Usually I hate listen to a lot of Trump stories.
Right.
I can't even participate.
The thing is that's why I read it all. Because first of all, I've always said this, is I can see the lies easier. But mostly it's because when I tried to hate listen to these people, I already know people that are making terrible life choices in my life. Why would I watch them giving them stage time, Right. I was like, if you do less screen time, especially the talking heads. I know you have to for work.
Well, I mean, I listen to the radio in the morning and then a little bit at work. I mean,
you're monologue-y.
Yeah.
So
it's just
the nature of the. Are you working out? You going swimming much?
Yeah. Swam. Did yoga yesterday. I texted you guys in a panic. Right before I was about to go into 90 minutes of yoga, I'm like, oh, fuck. I hope we don't ever podcast now.
You know what was weird? Like 2 hours earlier, I had just texted all of you going, hey, are we podcasting now? I don't want to. I was so tired yesterday because we couldn't because we drove back late. And
what do you have this weekend?
I'm going to D.C. This will be already, I'll be in Vietnam when this is up.
Wow.
But I'm going to D.C. with Maria.
It's like you got drafted. Good luck, Jackie. I hope you come back.
I'm going to go sit on a rocket like Jane Fonda and alienate a third of the American public.
Did you watch the documentary?
I didn't. I heard it was great.
It's really good.
That's cool. Is it on Netflix?
It's on HBO.
HBO.
It's good. It's really worth watching.
I have my brother's HBO Go. My brother Russ's.
She,
I don't know why. It's because I don't have a lot to offer to the conversation. I'm like, how about this sibling? You want in?
So when you have nothing to offer the converson, instead of remaining silent, you let us know that you steal your brother's HBO.
Oh my God, sure. But he was the one who gave me the password. She's
like, up until recently, always tried to organize her life around a man.
Right. And Ted Turner, Roger Vadim was her first husband, who was like this French director. I mean, a French director. You know what's going to happen. He's going to be fucking everybody. It's a French director. By definition, that guy is VD.
And then, Thomas Hayden, who was also very charismatic, student leader and then a representative in Congress. But she was always sort of pivoting around them, and finally when she broke up with Ted Turner, she's like 70, she's like, I'm going to be my own self. Holy shit, that's a long time. That's a long life of not completely being yourself.
Right. I mean, I was talking to Andy's aunt, who's like 72 or 74 or something like that, and she said, I have to relearn all the time that some people are going to kind of take advantage of me, and I have to create boundaries and stop them from taking advantage of me. I was like, so the learning continues.
Wow.
And she's like, yeah, it's weird. She's like, I don't like it, because you would have thought I would have learned it. And she said, and weirdly enough, I did learn it. And then I forgot it, and then I had to learn it again. So this is awesome that Jane Fonda has decided to.
Yeah, it's weird. I liked her and I didn't like her. Like, I don't think she was a good mother to her first daughter she had with Roger Vadim. She sort of just hooked up with Hayden, and then all of a sudden was, going places to Vietnam, all these protests. I mean, that was cool for the movement, I guess, but it's like, you got a fucking someone who's watching the 3-year-old.
Is he in the car?
The dad's not. The dad's directing French films.
Ah, there you go.
What I mean? I don't know. And she was the only one that didn't participate in the documentary.
Oh, really?
Pointedly so, yeah. Everyone else was talking about her, and her son with Tom Hayden was, very complimentary, but the oldest daughter didn't say anything. And then Jane Fonda was like, I hope she forgives me one day. Like, damn, that's cold.
But may not. Well,
Nope.
I mean, it's such a, whatever. This family's hard.
And then I watched this other documentary a while ago. Did we ever talk about the Wendy Whalen documentary?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. It's one of those things I keep remembering when I'm driving. I'm like, we got to discuss this. And then I forget. She was a ballerina. She's like our age. She was a ballerina for the New York City Ballet, and she lasted way longer than a lot of ballerinas last. But then she had to quit because her body, she just couldn't keep doing what they wanted her to do. And she kept she had some surgery, and she doing a lot of rehab, and we're so lucky that we can keep going, like that our bodies are not
a physical.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be a time where we'll have to lift to a club because we can't drive,
right?
And we'll need help going up steps and stuff like that, right?
Well, somebody told me Joan Rivers was doing sets from her bed.
What?
At the end, like live streaming some sets.
No.
Yeah, that's what someone was telling me.
No,
I forget who it was.
But she also was working the road too. So was she just, being what I would say
the last week of her life? Because I think she was pretty much she was walking around like her whole life.
She was doing stand up. To me, that's like the ultimate stand up career in your bed. Maybe that's the dream. That's the goal. That's what we're all headed for. Bed comedy.
Forward, let me try this bit. And let me just press record. Yeah.
But no, she was in fine health. She was having some sort of I forget the surgery, but it was possibly cosmetic, and they fucked up. It wasn't like she.
That's right.
You and I are
we
both
at 30,
so
by the way.
tired.
Let me tell you about the comic of the week.
Yay!
As I yawn my head off. I saw her. I mentioned her, I think, on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I saw her at Paper Heroes. She does a lot of corporate comedy, so she has the time, but she's doing a lot of. I was looking at her. I want her to headline. Anyway, her name is Rachel McDowell.
She's very funny. I see her flappers a lot.
Yeah, she works flappers. She's originally from Indiana. She does corporate stuff, but at Paper Hero, she had my favorite dick joke that I've heard in a bajillion years. And it's hard to make me laugh at a dick joke.
It is.
And because it was one of those laughs where it was more of a bark, where I was like, ha! And then,
oh, God, I hate that laugh.
Well, it's because it's such a
that's
comic
the best
laugh.
You're going to get out of Jackie Cation.
Well, that's what the comic. It's a laugh and then me applauding, and I believe I might have even said brava. Anyway, encore.
Yeah, she's very funny, and apparently not on Twitter. So we'll just direct you to her website.
Which is, I believe,
Rachel McDowell.
.com.
No A, MC, and then 2 L's. Dowell.
That's it. And did you? Okay. In other news. Did you hear Bill Cosby got hit in the face with a chicken sandwich?
What?
In prison.
Wait, how could that can't do much damage? A chicken sandwich?
Yeah, no, I think somebody threw it at him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like one of the other prisoners threw a chicken sandwich at Bill Cosby.
That's the least horrific prison story I've ever heard.
Well, it's kind of nice. Maybe it's getting... No. No, it is not. I snorked.
Wait.
Did you hear that?
I don't know. I feel like you just
Kyle's
skipped
the
over
only
6
word.
emotions very quickly, and I don't know what happened, but I'm too tired to fight you.
Someone write that down. Too tired to fight you. Could be the title.
I'm going to New York this weekend.
You should.
I have one set tomorrow at Flappers, and then I'm headed there for the weekend, doing the Friday night. My sleep's all fucked up, man. I'm still fucked up from... I'm having climate change insomnia and
Right.
mom
You're having
insomnia.
anxiety insomnia is what you've got.
Yeah. And then I've got like 6 sets.
I will spare you sleepy time tea suggestions.
No.
Which is a Eddie Pepitone joke.
I have 6 sets on Saturday.
Right. You're all over the place. Whatever the stand is doing now, they're four-walling it somewhere, right?
They got it. They have 1 at the stand, 3 at stand up.
Oh, yeah.
1 at the Broadway, and then 1 at Greenwich Village.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's all on the east side, you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I already
Up and
talked
down?
about this. Oh, my
But
God.
that's good, though.
We're at 30 minutes. I'm already repeating.
You repeat, you remind me of me. I will say that, so I got booked. First of all, I thought I was going to be able to do Santa Cruz in January, but then I couldn't find a listing for Laughs. Remember Laughs Kirkland?
Yeah.
It moved to downtown Seattle.
So is it near the Underground?
I don't know. I don't know where the Underground is.
Well, the Underground is in downtown Seattle.
Well,
It's
somewhere
near Pioneer Square. Portland is Pioneer Place, and Seattle is Pioneer Square.
Maybe.
They both have pioneers.
Well, you know what? There were pioneers who one should be called Lewis, the other called Clark. But but Kirkland's in. I know that Laughs is in Seattle proper now.
Okay,
which is nice, and it's a really cool space actually.
What's the hotel like?
Well, the hotel's nice.
What is it?
I don't know, it's usually like a Marriott or something.
Okay,
yeah.
The other club you can figure it out, but I'm not going to say the club I usually work in Seattle. I haven't worked there in a long time, but the booker would go on Priceline the day that the gig started and tell me where to stay.
Feel free to listen to our podcast from 2 years ago to know what club that is and how I'm like.
It was always so distressing.
It was always.
And one time I stayed near the airport.
You stayed at an Airbnb once, if I remember correctly.
I did.
Youth
I took the
hostel.
money and I was like, look, let me just stay in Capitol Hill or something.
Right. You had all sorts of there were a lot of projects. It's the only perk stand-up comics on the road get. Like when you book your own gigs, you have to find a place to stay and you have to figure out your own business. But if you're like, I know that like Foley's doing, Aaron Foley is doing Zanies this weekend in Chicago. The Rosemont one.
Oh,
and the Rosemont one has a nice hotel.
Oh, really?
That's always been the Zanies I've wanted to do.
Is it near the Zanies?
It's right by the Zanies in Rosemont.
So you could walk?
I believe it to be like the Zanies in Rosemont is in a mall, and it's some sort of chain that's right next to it. Chain hotel.
There's a club in Montreal that's in a mall that was I really
Comedy
liked.
Nest.
Was that the Nest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
It was a dead mall. The mall was dead.
It's like a hockey rink, right?
Yeah, it's like a haunted freaking mall.
Yeah.
And then you have to find your way to this club.
But it was always
full.
packed every night.
It was always full.
Usually I don't like mall comedy clubs.
Right, because they're usually people who've been shopping all day long who wander into a comedy club
like that,
and don't know.
In Minneapolis on top of a...
Chuckle Fucks. Knuckleheads was the name of it for the longest time.
What is it now?
House of
Comedy.
Ill Repute, yes. It's
awful. It's like on the 5th floor of a mall. I don't like being in a mall. It tires me out. Just like walking in it and seeing all those people.
Yeah, it's
and all these these hopeful stores that I'm walking by.
You're like, not another H&M. What's going to happen?
It drains the life out of me.
Do you know where the real hope is in a mall? In the kiosk, in the businesses that are in the hallways.
Those guys work hard.
They're working their asses off so they can get a space in the mall.
Like the bringer shows of malls.
It's the bringer. It's the kiosk people who are just like selling cell phone covers.
Yes,
and pretzels.
We clearly needed more days between this podcast and the.
Wait till Sunday and Monday. We're gonna.
You
but
can
I'm gonna
never
be coming back.
go on vacation again.
Right. I know I'm going on vacation. So this is. But I can't wait. And then I saw we got the poster for Hanoi. Did you see the poster?
No.
I'm working with some guy from.
For one show, you're getting a whole poster?
There's a poster of some guy in the front, and then I'm in the back.
Oh, cool.
My headshots. It's like a weird. I don't understand why I'm on the poster at all, but because I don't think I'm getting paid. I'm essentially doing it because I want material about doing stand up in Hanoi.
Sure,
and I'm going to write stand up about it as well because the trip's going to be amazing. Quite honestly,
what if it's not? What if it's the most boring 10 days of your life?
18 days.
Oh my God.
And if it is, I'm bringing I'm bringing Moby Dick. I'm gonna finally read Moby Dick.
You're trying to make yourself read Moby Dick. You're not going to.
I started it. There was actually a couple of.
We've all started it, Jackie. Okay.
Have you ever finished it?
No.
Kyle, I have not. You have not either. Have you started it? Yes.
This is very long and about
whaling.
Yeah. A lot of details.
That's where I got bogged down. There was a lot of whaling details that I had to call it. A lot of boats. And we hadn't even gotten off the land when I kind of gave up. But there was a very funny scene in the very beginning of it where our protagonist is being spooned by a giant Russian seaman. And I said seaman. No, a giant Russian sailor guy. They were sharing a room.
Did you do the seaman joke?
Not on purpose.
Oh my God. Yes, you did.
I did it.
You did. You had a little gleam in your eye. You're all proud of yourself that you made the seaman sailor joke.
As it was coming out.
And I'm too tired to stop it.
I just did it again.
Oh my God. How much time have we done?
41 minutes.
No, it's not enough. Make time go faster.
I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. That's ridiculous. Anyway. So it's going to be fascinating. And I'm going to drink a lot of coffee and I'm going to eat some soup. It's going to be real nice. Looking forward to it. All right, here. So this is.
I'm doing my taxes.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing them. I'm sending them to somebody to be done.
Right. But you're organizing them.
Yeah,
because they have to be done by October, right?
October 15th.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
No, it's the worst.
Hate it. And my accountant, I don't know why he's with me because I pretend I don't get the emails. I wait till the very last second and I can't find anything.
Why?
I can't find anything. So now I'm going to various websites and downloading if they have them, but
right.
I'm like, I don't have any evidence of anything. I don't have a 1099 or W-2.
You have your calendar, and so you're trying to recreate the world from your calendar.
Yeah. But it's it's awful.
I can't believe you're like, I don't like it. I ignore emails. It's not like it's skid off
what's your interest off your account? I don't know. Nothing.
Have you thought about a personal assistant to somehow just have someone to yell at and just?
But even that person will be like, "Where's your W-2s?"
Right. She's gonna be like,
I don't know. Here's what happened. I put them in a drawer, and I put them in the tax drawer. I have a special drawer for all tax shit.
Right.
And then I opened up the drawer, and there's only 3 things in it. I'm like, but I've been putting shit in this all year.
Right.
Where did it go? I don't know where it went. And no one else is supposed to open the drawer.
Right. Well, who else?
Why would they go through it and throw away partial tax receipts?
No, nobody's doing that. What happened?
I don't know.
Right. Okay.
And now I'm being asked to. I've gone through everything. I've cleaned.
Right.
I don't know where anything is.
It
Fucking sucks.
Yeah. It sounds.
It's taken over the last like 5 days of my life.
Right.
This is worse than writing a book. Is finding tax receipts.
Yeah.
In terms of like having it hanging over you when you wake up in the morning.
Oh yeah. It was. We finished ours in September because we both incorporated this year.
But you have to do both. You have to do You have to do that and your personal. Do you don't push your personal till October 15th?
Well, now you got me worried. I think my tax preparer, we did it all in one.
That's
we did
good.
both corporate and personal at the same time.
And while I'm looking for all this shit, all I can think about is that fucking tax article about the Trumps, his family, and to think, why am I busting my ass trying to find proof I flew to Minneapolis? Of course I flew there.
Right. How else would you have gotten there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is funneling and they're devaluing properties so they can the dad could give it to his kids and say it's worth nothing and they can sell it for $90 million the next year.
Yep.
Why am I hustling?
Well, because you're a decent human being.
No, I'm
with a
not.
soul. You're like, how do I get out of that? How do I get out of being a decent human being? Well, you don't, because you're not a monster. Yay! But yeah, that's taxes are genuinely, they loom over you, and you're just like, I don't know how to fix it. But I have a comedy story that might cheer you up.
Okay.
So I booked a bunch of stuff, right? I forgot about Laughs. I'm doing it January 11, 12 in Seattle. Super fun. Looking forward to it. I like, because Angela and Dave, they mix it up a little bit, their calendar. It's nice.
Oh, I wouldn't know. They've never had me.
Well, that ain't right. That ain't.
How would I know, Jacqueline?
Well, you keep
Never
working
seen
the
fit
other.
to hire me.
You keep working the other clubs so
I
that you can
haven't.
stay in a bus station.
After Hillary took over, I haven't worked there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She has a baseline of money that she
I
Yeah.
see.
not worth the commission.
She is. Oh, I like her more every
Yeah.
time I hear about it.
She has standards that I lack.
Well, then she should talk to David Angelo because they're great. And the other thing, well, okay, so I've talked to 3 bookers this week, at least. One of whom sent me his avails with, he was like, "Hey, do you have any of these dates open?" With two of them. So it was more than that.
Saw that.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3. Whatever. I was looking for a lot of work this week.
Right.
So I talked to a bunch of bookers. 2 of them hid fucking Valentine's Days in their
As if it was a regular Thursday.
As if it was a regular Thursday. They were like, "Hey, do you have this February 14th available?" And I'm like, No, I don't. It turns out I'm a woman comedian, so I'm working February 14th.
Hey, Carlos Mencia, do you have the 5th of May open? Do you have that open?
Man, it was brutal. And we were talking about this.
The point is you should, an all-female comic should be making $100,000 on February
Valentine's
14th.
Day.
It's not like a regular day.
It is not a regular
Because
day.
it's not it's like New Year's Eve for couples.
Right.
And so the club charges a fucking ton of money for New Year's Eve shows.
They go to the grocery store
Valentine's
and
Day
buy
show.
hundreds of shitty roses.
Yes.
And give every woman a stupid rose.
Yeah.
And you have to perform for them.
Right. So
It is the only day you're guaranteed work, so you should get paid really well.
Thank you.
And a week before Valentine's Day, there's a half a dozen club owners who are like, "Hey, are you working next week?"
That's right.
And you're like, yeah, I am. The other one that they do, which they would do to you, would be Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I always take a gig on like May 16th or something. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's fucking Mother's Day.
You fell for it.
They never say Mother's Day. They go, it's a Sunday show.
It's a Sunday show. Then all of a sudden you're like,
It's a Sunday show. Oh, okay. That's good. I love Sunday shows.
I love a Sunday show.
Yeah, that's great. Nice way to end the week.
Yeah. It's and then the other one was, and people have said this forever. Well, I just wanted, women don't usually want women to open for them.
Right. Yeah.
Because I got a guy, and this is a guy that likes me, has always been supportive, and I genuinely don't think he's making it up.
Yeah.
I think that he made it up so long, like someone told him this. Like, no woman has ever said to a booker, I don't want women to open for me.
You know who did?
Who did?
Brett Butler.
All right.
This is going back to 80, like the early mid-90s. Yeah.
Or 93.
Yeah.
Brett Butler refused to have any women open for him?
When I worked at the Boise Funny Bone, the manager told me that. I remember her saying that. Like, something about, well, I shouldn't pin it on the manager, but this is what I remember being told is like,
that club's gone. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she said Brett Butler didn't like working with women.
That's weird that Brett Butler would, I mean, there's, especially in 93 or 87 or whatever it happened.
No, she was raised to think there's only one spot for a woman, and if you have another woman, that woman's going to take the woman's spot, and then you won't get work. So it makes total sense.
Yeah.
That her generation would think like that because they were told that all the time.
But I never heard that from anyone, and I know that when I would feature and it would be a woman headliner, they were always psyched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I don't think Brett Butler's like that now because I think she does go on tour with a lot of female comics.
Yeah.
Like I think Lisa Landry was going on tour with her for a while.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and by the way, everybody's still working, right? Everybody is still doing stand-up comedy who wants to.
I don't know.
Like, people are like, where's Brett Butler?
Where's Margaret Smith? We were just asked about her last week. I don't know if everyone was working that they want to. I don't know.
Right. Is Margaret Smith still with us? Dead or alive?
Kyle's doing his taxes. Kyle heard us and he started panicking. Where are my W-2s?
Like, where are my taxes?
I think she's alive. But
I think Margaret Smith is alive. I do not know if Margaret Smith is still
my
working.
friend Cheryl has a poster from when she was doing stand-up in Texas, and it's the three headliners are her. She's alive.
Thank
her,
you.
Ellen DeGeneres, and Margaret Smith. And someone had drawn this really cool poster of them.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. There aren't enough. Like, nobody ever asks a guy, well, you wouldn't want a guy to open for you.
Please make them do that.
It's like, you wouldn't want another white guy with brown hair to open up for you, would you?
Just like, anytime you're wondering, is this sexist or racist, just flip it a little bit and see how weird it sounds.
It sounds weird. No one, right? No, that's what made you laugh. Because you're like, that's insane. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, you're going to want. And this guy genuinely found me for a really good paying, this is the latest time that it's ever happened. Mm-hmm. And it's happened for the last 30 years that club owners and bookers will say, oh, women don't like other women to open for them. And that, if that was true for the handful of women that you heard that from, it is no longer true.
No, it's not true. And I think, maybe because we were told, the audience was told, there's a woman on the bill. Hope you're okay.
Right.
You're going to be okay. Like, it was just, there was such a stigma attached
Gary
to it.
Bynum, I think I've told this story before, but when one of the last times I did Tucson, I got to the gig and he goes, hey, this is weird to even say out loud, but I just, the other two comics are women. There's a women MC and a woman feature. You don't care, right? And I said, no, that sounds cool. And it was a really fun weekend where nobody said anything gross to me. It was kind of a delight. And not that, I mean, it doesn't happen every day if someone says something gross to me, but sometimes people say gross things.
Well,
and they're usually dudes.
Yeah, or you're in the green room and the conversation is being dominated by men. Mm-hmm. And I learned very early just to be silent, not really pay attention. But it's like, hey, man, this is my space too.
Yep. Worst green room ever.
Yeah, it does get a little male. But and you just sort of adjust as we do. But then the times when you don't have to adjust, and it's It's just women in a green room.
It's like taking a bath, you guys.
Oh my God, it is. It's awesome.
It's a sweet, sweet justice. So,
how much time is that, Kyle?
We've got 6 minutes left.
That's not bad.
Okay.
So you're going to New York, and then we're going to tape 2 more shows. We don't know what we'll talk about, but you'll be back from
I'll
New
have
York.
been in New York.
I
You'll
will
have been
in D.C.
Dude, we'll
and
have
Munhall,
stories.
Pennsylvania. Yep.
My God.
The Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which will already be gone, but Michelle Balloon is going to open for Maria.
Cool.
Yeah. And then Carmen Morales is going to open for Maria in Tucson.
Awesome.
And Danielle, Carmen's
you're
going to
gonna
open
do-
somewhere else. Danielle Perez is going to open in Tucson.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think.
And you're doing Brian Regan's shows, right?
Right, I'm doing Regan shows in November. Winnipeg, Rochester, Minneapolis, and Duluth.
Right. But so this weekend in DC is with Maria, or is it
With
totally
Maria.
separate? Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
and I'm kind of psyched because my December and my January are full of just headline weeks where I get to do 45 to an hour.
That's great.
At least 4 times, maybe 7 times. And so I should be able to work all this stuff out. And you know how like the joke will stretch and then boing, bounce back and then it's tighter.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want all of my jokes to because that's how I write. It just if I can put all the parts in a row and then just chop and then it springs back on itself and it's a minute and a half less than it was. So
I envy that. I mean, I know I have Christmas week off and I have Thanksgiving week off, but I don't have a lot of. I mean, those are weeks when comics usually go home that week. So I don't know. I don't have any. I don't have much aside from hilarities. Thanksgiving week,
right.
I don't have much road work. I'll just go to New York for Christmas, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
What about this? Is we were talking about going
I don't have
to
New
San
Year's Eve
Francisco.
gig. Do you?
No, and if I'm lucky, I won't.
I want one.
Do you want one?
It makes me feel like a real comic.
It makes me feel like a real loser. I have never enjoyed a New Year's. I'm like, why don't you all drink at home like professionals?
Oh, I don't enjoy it, but I want to. I want to work. I like working on New Year's.
It's crowd control.
I know, but I feel like a fucking amateur audience member if I'm not at a club on New Year's.
I usually have like a board game thing going because it's like we get together and we play board games. But
you have friends.
yeah, we could be friends. I know you don't want to talk to me when we're not having microphones.
We
in
were
our
like,
faces.
when's Kyle going to get here? This is so awkward. Hurry.
Yeah, there was a great deal of silence prior to you arriving, and you're like, just plug it in, and yeah, I think. I was going to say the Saturday we were talking about the guy who runs. I was saying that the guy who used to run Doc's Lab might have another space available in San Francisco or Oakland.
That would be cool.
Where we could just do a Saturday.
That would be fun.
It'd be fun to fly up to San Francisco, do a show, do a Jackie and Laurie, maybe stay the night, maybe fly back if there was a red eye.
I would stay the night.
That'd be great, right?
So good.
Sleep in our own beds.
No, drive out to my parents' old house and sit outside and watch
weep?
them go
And just
to and
weep.
fro. Yes, and see what they did to it. I can't believe that's not part of your itinerary.
Why isn't it part? Go to Walnut Creek, California.
I don't.
and-
They better not have touched my dad's pine trees.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
We rent a car and do that before the show.
so that I'm angry.
Right. We can go to Redwood City and look at the house that Andy's dad bought for like a nickel and then sold
For
for like a dime and is now
Oh,
worth
no.
a gajillion billion dollars.
oh my god, I've done that with houses. That my I had some old addresses because my dad went to Stanford and when I was like little, and so they lived in Santa Clara, and they, oh my god, it's unbelievable. If
Right.
they had kept them.
Right. And then, well, it's been great. Where are we at, Kyle? That seems
Really?
good.
Yeah, 58. 58 and change.
58 and change?
Hey, man, it's a school night.
See ya.
Good. Bye.
We'll talk to you later.